Hey guys, Liz here, aka Isabel Sharon, aka Bondi Babe, aka. Oh, you'll get used to it, my AKAs. I'm at this sim called Take Heart. It is absolutely a beautiful sim, and if you haven't been, you need to come. I'm going to link to that below this video in my blog, because I've been coming here a little while since it was first put together, and I've done a few photos here, and I've done a music video here, and it's just beautiful, and every now and then it changes slightly, so there's always a little bit something new to look at. Okay, this is Coffee with Isa. Well, actually, tea. If I'm being truthful, tea. Because as I told you previously, I'm not a big coffee drinker unless it's made fresh, or it's a latte, which doesn't quite constitute a coffee, does it? Well, if you think of coffee drinking, I think many a person that's a real coffee drinker will turn around and go, "You weak woman." And I take that on the chin. Yes, I know. I'm a light coffee drinker in my lattes. I'm rambling, I know. If you can hear noise, it is because, number one, I've got my window open because it's warm in my flat today. It's actually really warm. I've come home from work, and it's lovely out there, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to open the windows. Well, I can only open them so far because I've got these two ragdoll cats that are so stupid that if you were to open the windows wide enough for them to get out, they'd probably do a flying leap, 3 stories down and land. And I don't believe that cats really do have 9 lives, so I'm not going to even risk it. Yeah, but I love where I live because I'm on the top floor, which is the 3rd floor. Or is it the 2nd floor? Well, there's ground 1, 2. Well, no, it's the 2nd floor, but I like to think of it as the 3rd floor because it's the 3rd floor. Do you get it? Yeah. Okay. And when it's weather like this, it is so lovely because I look out and all I see at the moment, because the leaves haven't fully gone on the trees yet, I see sunshine and water, and it's just beautiful. And it's just a perfect way to come home. But because I've got the windows open, you're going to hear noises, and because I've got my my apps open on my computer for Facebook and all sorts, you're probably going to hear ding 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 because everything, you know what it's like when you come home and all your emails come through and all your Facebook messages, because I've got like 2 Facebook accounts, real and virtual, and they all come in. And of course, hey, one has to maintain. So you might hear the dings from that, but I don't think you really care, do you? No, I don't think you do, because, well, we've all got computers and we all have ding ding ding. Failing that, you might hear my phone. And excuse my pose, but some days I just cannot be bothered adjusting my pose on furniture. I should, because then every time I go back to sit on something, it's going to be right. But I have a really bad habit of adjusting my hover height. I don't know why. I discovered hover height about 3 months ago. I discovered when someone said to me, "Oh, you just adjust your hover height," and told me how to do it. And now I can never quite get it right. So I play with it, and I look at myself and think, oh yeah, I'm walking slightly above the ground, but that's okay because I'm not feet in ground. But then when I sit down, I'm suddenly way above the furniture. So, no one should have told me how to discover hover height after being in SL for such a long time and then discovering it. I just won't leave it alone. I really should leave it alone, because I think I was fine before I discovered hover height. Now everything's just a nightmare. So when I go and sit on furniture, I'm a bit off the kilter. Sorry about that. But I don't think you care, do you? No, I don't think you do. Okay, so what's happened this week? Well, can I just say one thing? On my way home today, I just have to say this. Right, now, where I work, there are a number of homeless people, okay? So, not where I work, because that would be really saying something about the employer, that its employees are homeless. Mind you, actually, in today's climate, that's not that's not impossible, actually. But where I work, I'm in a small town. Well, it's construed as a city, okay, but I call it a town, because when you compare it to London, to me it's a town. But anyhow, I digress. So on my way to work in the mornings, the streets are fairly quiet. There are probably about 3 homeless men that I see on my way to work. One sleeps in one of the phone boxes. God knows how he does that, because that must be the most uncomfortable night's sleep going. And the other 2 sleep in doorways. One sleeps in a doorway to a cafe, and the other one sleeps in the local chemist doorway. And I see them every day, so I kind of know the homeless guys. And I always pop in and get something for them and just pop it down next to them, so when they wake up they've got a snack, because they're homeless, and I'm sure they're not going to pop the kettle on and make breakfast, so they need something. Now at lunchtime, when I come out for my lunch break and I go for a walk, because I like to go for a walk at lunchtime, there's probably about 20 homeless people out there. Now I used to think they were all homeless. I'm a bit of a sucker like that. So a couple of years ago, I started seeing them, and they used to be in the doorways. Spare any change, love, spare any change. And because I'm quite a soft touch in many ways, and because I don't like to see anybody suffer, I used to always give my spare change. Not anymore. No. I discovered about 18 months ago, that actually those extra homeless people that appear in the street, that look very clean, I might add, have really great trainers on, as in footwear trainers, and who wear some labels that I question a homeless person being able to wear. That's new, fresh off the rack. Are dropped off in the town first thing in the morning, because I've seen them now. They get dropped off by a van, and they actually all come in together, know each other, stop off and have breakfast at the local cafe, and then position themselves round town begging for money. I also know for a fact that they're actually receiving benefits. So they're on benefits. They actually all have somewhere to live, and they go out receiving money from people as we walk past and charitably give. Part of me gets annoyed by it, because I work really hard, and some days I would really like to not work. And so part of me gets annoyed by it, because I think I work really hard, I pay my taxes, and, I struggle. But the other part of me goes, you jammy bastard. You smart jammy bastard. You get to sit all day long, chat to people as they walk past, and you earn income. I want to have a bit of that. Now, anyone listening to this that might not agree with me might go, oh my God, how dare you? Well, let me just highlight something. 2 of these people have recently, in the last 18 months, gone to court, because they live at home in another neighbouring neighbourhood away from where I work, so people won't recognise them. They live in apparently nice houses, and they collect benefits, and they earn quite a lot of money from their begging, and they have designated begging areas. And one person went to court and had £30,000 savings in the bank. So before you tell me off about talking about certain levels of homelessness, please be aware of this fact. It does make me chuckle, because actually I think it's quite savvy smart in some ways. And I actually sit there at work, while I'm sitting at work, collecting my sort of humble, government salary. I do sit there and think, oh my God, why don't I just get up and go and sit outside and say, got any change? I'm sure. I would probably get a lot more job satisfaction, I think. I think a lot of people would, actually. And considering it's now going into summertime, I could probably tan while I'm at it. So yeah, that's kind of like got the topic going, I have to say. And the reason why I brought this topic up is on my way home today. And I'm on my way home today. I'm walking past these people that I've got to know quite well. In the last couple of years, because every day they go, spare any change, love, and every day I say, no. Consult your bank account. And then, and they just laugh because they know I know. And so today I'm walking past one of these guys who's sitting in the doorway, surfing the web on his laptop. And I might tell you, a very nice flash looking laptop. I'm not talking some old, thick brick thing that you might think that he had before he became homeless. I'm talking about what looks like the state of the art laptop. And he's surfing away, and it looks like he was chatting. He's probably he's probably conducting his other business. And I did chuckle as I walked past. I thought, I've so got it wrong. I really have. And I really need to take a leaf out of some people's books and just have a go myself. But that's not to say that there aren't real homeless people out there. And I might laugh, and that's only I'm only laughing, and I'm only mucking around here because I'm talking about the pretend people, the people that do it as a living and as a business. And believe me, there are some, and we've seen them go in and out of court. As I said, in the last 18 months, I'm fully aware of them. And we've got one lady that keeps coming back to my local area, even though she's been to court twice. So it's like she won't give up. Okay. So there are those, but there are actually real homeless people. And as I said, I do see them in the mornings, and I hate seeing it. And there was one man in particular that I have seen for quite a while. I remember when he first came out on the streets, I actually used to see him at the bus stop. I used to cross the road from my bus and cross the road, and he was at the opposite bus stop, and he used to sleep in the bus shelter. And when I first saw him, he was like middle-aged guy. He had two holdalls with him, and he actually looked like he was going travelling or something. He looked like when I first saw him, he looked like someone who was just waiting at the bus stop to get a bus, and must have missed it and fallen asleep. He looked like a businessman, but over a period of months that changed, and I watched him get dirtier and dirtier and unkempt, and just not look the same anymore. And every day I'd get off the bus, I'd go and buy him stupid things like a Mars bar. Because I did, when you first encounter this situation, you don't know what to do. I know not to give people money. I've learnt that, don't give them money. Because actually, if they've got alcohol addictions or drug addictions, that's all you're feeding. You're not feeding them. So I don't ever give money. And so what I do is I'll always buy something to eat. But when I first started doing this, I used to buy really inappropriate things like a Mars bar, or a Crunchy, because I didn't know what to get. I was a bit sort of like, oh God, what do I get? And then after a while I learned, because I work in social services and I used to speak to the social workers, and so I learned, buy a warm drink, buy a sandwich, buy something nutritious. So I started doing that, but I still would always add a Mars bar, because I'm telling you, I don't care who you are, you got to have some chocolate. Life has to have chocolate in it, and so I would always do that. And regards this one particular man, suddenly I stopped seeing him on the street, and I panicked. And we have got, in my local area, there's a couple of organisations that are there for the homeless people. So the people that are homeless in our town actually do have somewhere to go to get food. There are two actual they kind of like soup kitchens and shelters that they can go to, and they're run by volunteers who raise a lot of money to do it. And actually, one of the key organisations, one of the key people that run one of these charitable trusts, I think you can call them, he himself was an ex-heroin addict, and so he was on the streets, and actually I did meet him and talk to him once. He was an ex-heroin addict, and got in an awful lot of trouble and had to sort his life out, and he sorted his life out, and then went on to try and help other people with addictions and homelessness. So what they do is they provide food so that, you know, in the mornings, lunch and dinner, you know, homeless people can go and eat. They will provide obviously a bed, but obviously they can only fit so many in. Now, I did go to them because I panicked about this one man, because suddenly I stopped seeing him on the street and I thought, oh my God, something's happened to him. And I contacted them, and they came back to me and they said they knew who he was. They said they had approached him. He actually doesn't go to their soup kitchen. They had approached him and he didn't want any help. Apparently his marriage broke down, and she kicked him out. Basically, she kicked him out, kept the house, kept the kids, and he had a breakdown, and he ended up on the street, and he didn't want any help. And apparently it transpires that he got so used to living on the street that he actually preferred living on the street. He preferred the life without worry. He had no worries. The only worry he had was if a rat went past. But you know, there's the local pubs in the area know him, and they feed him every day. You know, he does smell because he doesn't shower or whatever, but they, you know, they all have outdoor areas. He will get breakfast every day, and he will get lunch, and he will get dinner, because he's like, you know, he's never ever begged. He's never asked for anything, and people have for a while now been helping him. So they feed him, and fully aware that he lives on the street and he doesn't want to live anywhere else, but he does get some mental health help. I know that, but it's now his choice to live on the street, and that I found that quite interesting, because nothing could scare me more than living on the street. And number one, I like a shower. Number two, I like a bed. Number three, I like to brush my teeth. Number four, I like to watch a bit of TV. All these things that we take for granted, they don't have. And so that thought just scares the hell out of me. But he's chosen to stay like it, and I got to give him kudos for that, because he made a decision when he was given help. He made a decision that actually he didn't want to return back to the mad lifestyle that we all seem to put ourselves under, and he seems to be quite happy. And I do see him about. He actually moved from his bus stop. He now sleeps near my government building where I work. Actually, there is a treed area with benches, and he will regularly sleep there because there's quite a few shelters there. I'm not really sure what he does when it snows and it gets ice like in the winter. I don't see him around, so I would like to think that he is going somewhere. I think that's the worst bit, when in the middle of winter, when I see him and I see others out, it just breaks my heart. Actually, it really breaks my heart. In fact, I want to cry now talking about it. It just really breaks my heart, because I hate seeing people like it. But for some, it is a choice, and I've had to learn to accept that I can't run up to people and want to take them home, because for some, their choice is that they don't want to live in society as it is. And you know what, some days I don't blame them, because we live in this society that you know, we're like guinea pigs on this roller coaster, and we're constantly running. We're running to pay our bills, we're running to you know, keep a roof over our head, and then we're running to keep up with the Joneses. we're running to all sorts of conforms, and it's crazy. When did life become like this? I don't know. I became like it the minute I became an adult, I guess, and I just think, goodness me, you know, and what really bothers me is people are so used to walking past homeless people. People are just so used to it. I see it in London when I go up to London. Actually, the worst I saw it was when I last went to Sydney. I went back in 2014 to go home, and went with my daughter and her partner, and we were walking through the streets of Sydney, and I'd never seen this when I lived in Sydney. and how much it's changed. And there were homeless everywhere. Now, Sydney in the rush hour is extremely busy because, you know, come on, it's the central business district, and you've got homeless people sat in the middle of the footpaths, and people just walk around them. No one stops to even blink an eye. No one takes notice or anything. Now, some of these people, obviously, like I said, that I've seen here are professionals, but the majority are people with mental health issues, people with drug addictions, alcohol addictions. For whatever reason, they've ended up on the streets. And I think it's really a sad indication of society nowadays that we walk past. We shouldn't walk past, you know. And I think it's quite hypocritical when people donate to charities, yet they walk past a charity case every single day and don't stop. I think it's hypocritical that they go out and they buy their Costa coffees or their Starbucks, their McDonald's, their Burger Kings, and they walk past someone that actually hasn't eaten, and it's very clear they haven't eaten for days, weeks, you know. And I think what has happened to us as a people, it's terrible. And you know what? I'd understand if we were all living on the breadline. And when I talk about breadline, I don't mean, I can't afford takeaway this week, and so I'm really tight with my budget. I'm talking breadline when you can't actually feed yourself, and you can't actually clothe yourself, and you can't actually pay for your electricity. And in actual fact, you're like bordering on becoming homeless. People don't seem to understand what that is anymore, because we all kind of, as the years have evolved, I mean, I remember when I was younger, you know, being poor was different than it is now. Being poor is just not being able to afford what Joe Bloggs down the road has. But when I was younger, I was taught about looking after my money. I was taught about not taking out credit when I couldn't afford it. In fact, just don't take it out. I was taught about saving, about the importance of saving for your pension, about the importance of saving in case anything goes wrong. But a lot of people don't do that. They rely on credit. They rely on the fast fix. They want to live like, you know, the famous footballers, the famous pop stars and whatever. Everyone wants that lifestyle, but not everyone's going to get it. And in order to get it or achieve it, they actually put their own lifestyle at risk, and that's kind of sad. And I'm digressing because I actually started talking about homeless people, and actually that wasn't what my blog was going to be about today. Funnily enough, and it only started because on my way home today, I saw that guy and with his laptop, and I just thought, Jesus Christ, this is the modern one. But again, let me just point out there is a difference between true homeless people and those people that are making a fast buck. But I have to give credit to their smartness. Because I would never have thought of doing that myself. I might think about it, because I have thought about it, because I've thought about busking, you know, how you can go out and busk and earn extra income. Now, I have thought about that, but I don't actually play an instrument. I play keyboard. When I mix music and stuff, and when I create some music, I a lot of it is EDM stuff, and then I will do some of my own things, but it's all done on an electronic keyboard. So if I were to go out and busk in the street, you'd see me with my laptop, and I'll be doing a, you know, press that button, press that button, press that button, and then maybe doing a sort of like a box-shaped rave hand thing. I wonder if I'd get paid for that, actually. Yeah. I think I'm going to try that one day. I'll have to go somewhere else where people don't recognise me because I might be heckled. But as an experiment, I might do that one day, actually. I might just do that, just to see what would happen if a middle-aged woman such as I were to sit on the side of the street and play and see whether anyone would tip me. No, I can't do that. I like my sofa too much. Oh, but anyhow, what I wanted to say is, you know what? When you do see a real homeless person, don't just walk past them. Yeah, don't just walk past them. Don't be embarrassed to give them the time of day. Don't be embarrassed to give them something to eat. If you've got spare change, don't give them the spare change. Give them something to eat. Give them a drink. Actually, just give them a hello, because some of these people don't get to speak to anybody at all. And when you think that mental health is probably rife for them, can you imagine what it must be like to have no one speak to you at all, just to walk past you? I can't think and imagine what that must do to your psyche. So this is a bit of a serious blog. I'm really sorry, but I just had to go on about it. So next time you walk past someone, have something in your bag or your backpack if you're a bloke, and just say hi and give it to them. You don't have to stop if you don't want to. If you find it awkward and you don't know what to say, just pop it down next to them. But don't just ignore them. Don't just be one of the other statistics that just walk past and do nothing, because you know what, you too could be in that position and find yourself without anything. Anyhow, I'm going to stop now. And this blog, I know it's not Monday. It's Friday. But you know what? Hey, my blog, my vlog. I can do it whenever I want. But that doesn't mean I won't do one on Monday. It's just that today's one, today I just came home and thought I've got to speak. And so I have. And all details of my outfit will of course be on my blog, which will be underneath this video. And all I can say is hope you have a nice day and think about what I said. Okay, bye-bye.